Hello, my name is Phil Loughlin. At one time, I was a college professor in St. Louis, but I'm retired now and living in Cambridge. And I'm a participant in the Olmsted 200 celebration, which is my excuse for talking to you. I first heard about Olmsted when my wife, Caroline Loughlin, started working with NAOP. She was interested in historic landscapes, and she had worked with Forest Park in St. Louis. This came to the notice of someone at NAOP, and she was invited to join the board. After that, Caroline told me a lot about the Olmsteds and about her work with NAOP. I got so interested that I looked through the Olmsted papers, looked through the master list, until I finally knew something about Olmsted and the Olmsted firm. Then, in 2013, Caroline died. It was a great loss to me. It was a great shock. I was depressed for a long time. But because she had so highly valued Olmsted and his work, I wanted to know if there was something that I could do to help NAOP in her memory. I talked to people at NAOP. We discussed her plans. We discussed their financial needs. Obviously, there was a lot of work to be done, and there were things I could do. And before long, I became a member of NAOP's Advisory Council and a member of the Olmsted 200 Honorary Committee. One of the things I learned when working with NAOP is that Olmsted's work and ideas are still important today. There are many facets of his work and ideas can be found in his writings and examining his physical landscapes. But to me, there's one aspect that is his greatest contribution, and that is the psychological effect of landscapes. I believe this because I have experienced this. As you all know, Olmsted focused on the overall composition of the landscapes rather than the details, intending the entire view to create a sense of tranquility in the minds of those who went there. This would include a short-term recovery from stress, which was my experience. So, I want to tell you my story. Go back to the 1950s, 35 years before Caroline joined NAOP, and I first heard of Olmsted. As a schoolboy, I would walk through the Swasey Parkway in Exeter, New Hampshire. It was a restful place, peaceful place, beside a river. I went there to get some relief from my stressful academic schedule, and I always would feel better about things as I walked back to campus. It was years later, thumbing through the master list, that I learned Swasey Parkway was an Olmsted firm design. So the Olmsteds had an effect on me long before I knew about them. Well, so here I am today, enthusiastic about the Olmsted 200 celebration, glad to be a part of it, and I want to thank Dee Petrie for her leadership. I believe NAOP will come out of this celebration stronger than ever, and thank you for listening to me.